All right, so now that we've talked about reproduction, we're going to talk a little bit about genetics and how traits are inherited from parent to offspring. In order to do that, we need to first look at the cell. So the body is made up of millions of tiny little structural units that are called cells. And if you have taken biology or plan to take biology, you'll go much deeper into this, but this is a very brief overview. The cell is basically, it's just the basic unit of the body. It supports and sustains the life of an animal. Each cell has its own individual function. So there are heart muscle cells, and there are liver cells, and there are skin cells. So they each have their own individual function in the body. There's a whole bunch of different parts of the cell, and we're going to talk about a few of them. The protoplasm is a fancy word for everything that's inside the cell. Okay, so everything that is inside the cell is considered to be a part of the protoplasm. The cell membrane is a very thin layer of protein and fat that surrounds the cell. So it's basically just the outside of the cell. Some substances can pass into the cell, and then sometimes the cell membrane will actually block other substances from entering the cell. And it's basically the job of the cell membrane to determine what materials can come in and what materials cannot. The centrosome, we're going to get into this a little bit more when we talk about genetics and cell division, but this is a very small body where microtubules are made. The centrosome is what divides during mitosis, and mitosis is a type of cell division. So what happens is when a cell starts to divide, that centrosome will actually split. So this is a picture of the cross-section of an animal cell, and we're going to talk about a lot of these different parts. We're going to talk about everything. So the nucleus. This is, everyone kind of thinks of this as like the center of the cell. This is what gives the cell the ability to grow, digest food, and also to divide. And this is where the chromosomes and the DNA are contained. The cytoplasm, this is kind of a jelly-like liquidy substance that gives the cell its shape, and it also contains all the different components necessary for cell functions. The Golgi body is located very close to the nucleus, and it produces the membrane that surrounds the lysosomes. So the lysosome is a round-shaped organelle, and it contains different digestive enzymes that allow for digestion of cell nutrients. So all those nutrients that we talked about in digestion are then absorbed by the body, and they are used by actual individual cells. And the lysosome is what digests those nutrients within the cell. The mitochondrion, these are rod-shaped organelles that contain digestive enzymes, and it actually converts energy that is stored in glucose into what's called adenosine triphosphate, also known as ATP. The nuclear membrane is the membrane that surrounds the nucleus, very similar to the cell membrane, except that the nucleus has its own protective layer. The nucleolus is actually found inside the nucleus, and this is what produces ribosomal RNA, which gives the cell the ability to divide. The endoplasmic reticulum, or the ER, this is actually your transport system. Okay, so it transports materials throughout the cell. The vacuole is the trash can of the cell, and it is a fluid-filled membrane that fills up with food and waste products inside the cell. And the ribosome is where proteins are made. Okay, so protein synthesis is just a fancy word for proteins being made or produced. We'll talk about cell division in the next video.